Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is one of your big fans, Billy here, and I just wanted to just make a video out here just talking about the stuff that's going on recently. I just finished up watching your boy Zach's video about the February 2019 Comic-Con sales, and just like what you expected to be actually looking good. No, it's still down. It's pretty bad, and from what he said, the comic industry, the state of the comics, especially with Marvel, are pretty much now in the morgue. It's not on life support. It's not at the hospice. It's not, and I have to say he's right. I mean, I will generally say at first I will say maybe there was still a possibility with maybe outsourcing the books and stuff, but I don't even think it's that. There's just nothing that these companies and that Disney just does not care about making actual good comics and stuff. They don't care because they don't really want comics. And honestly, for me, I'm not surprised. I mean, every time when a merger happens or a buyout, they don't normally take their assets. Like I noticed that one time when I was using the go-to a long time ago. I used to go to my local mall. There was a Tivana I went to, and the Tivana place was where of course you brought your can with you and you made some good tea and you drank it. It was good and you enjoyed it. Yada yada, the whole 9 yards, and then one day I went there and it was gone. And but actually no, before it was gone, I went there and I saw that they got bought out by Starbucks, and I was like, all right, they bought out Starbucks. And they were bought out by Starbucks, and so you start seeing Tivana products and stuff being in Starbucks also. But the Tivana shop are still around; they were still operating them. And I didn't go to Tivana for like nearly almost 2 years after that buyout. And then one day I went there, and the Tivana shop was gone. I mean, it was there like the shelves and the look and the decor was semi still there, but it was some other small Chinese, like a little Chinese lady was operating it. She's a nice lady. She's okay, but then I was thinking to myself, what happened? So I went online and I found out Tivana, they bought out Tivana, but they closed down their stores eventually and either laid off their workers or transferred them to Starbucks. And the Tivana products are just in their in their assets, in their lineup of products that Starbucks sells, which I don't know, why would you even go to Starbucks? I used to go to Starbucks often, and it wasn't, and the coffee was just overly expensive, and it just doesn't taste right, and it's just and their politics are a little too weird. I mean, your guys you're like a hot, like what Zach says, you're a hot dog vendor, you sell hot dogs, but in your case, you sell me coffee, you don't sell me politics. But I don't want to get off topic here, but I noticed that based off of what I am seeing with Fox and Disney, and I knew this was going to happen because just like what I just described there with Tivana and Starbucks, there's going to be layoffs and there's going to be cutbacks in order to able to reel in all this money, because there's a lot of money being exchanged. $71 billion. I mean, but if you think about that for a second, $71 billion. I mean, that's way more double than what NASA gets in its budget, for example. I mean, I'm a space enthusiast, so I know, I look at the numbers, but I mean, you see what this kind of buyout's going to do, and everyone's saying, and I've been dreading the day of this buyout for a long time, and I said to myself, this is not going to end well, and this means that Disney's going to be scaling back and cutting back on their products, their services. They're going to be cutting back on their some of their lineups, and which ones are obviously not going to be making profit. And a lot of it, and of course the dead obvious one is Marvel Comics. And we've all known for the last couple of years, I mean, since 2014, the comic books have been a sudden sharp dip in sales. I mean, by 2010, and by the time I was in high school and early college, I mean, the comics were still selling. I mean, I didn't know, I didn't have all my friends read manga, but I generally would say people had comics. People were, the comics were fine. I mean, there were people buying them. My local comic shop where I lived at actually was still in business. They were still pushing out books and stuff. They were selling more classic books, but the comic book market is dwindling down, and this comes at the probably one of the most interesting time, and this will be a defining factor for Marvel. Will Disney take the LucasArts approach? And if you don't know about that, the LucasArts approach was when Disney bought out Lucasfilms, they shuttered pretty much all of LucasArts, which I've heard rumors now that LucasArts might be coming back, but they were the ones who made the Star Wars games. In that short amount of 10 years' time, they were able to make probably one of the most memorable Star Wars games, and some not so memorable, like that Kinect Star Wars game, which, yeah, I just think it's stupid. But it's such a good games. I mean, they made some good games, but now they're making a reoccurrence. But these people you think Marvel, and this is things we say with these SJWs, you think Marvel will care about you guys? They will shut you guys down in a heartbeat. But then with this recent video I saw with Zach and stuff I've seen with Ethan and Clownfish TV and Umbrella Guy and Yellow Flash, especially the Yellow Flash, he's been really kicking it really good with the I Stand With Vic videos, but that's that's another video for another time. But it just realizes to me that Disney, you're giving more Disney the reason to shut down the publication. I mean, Marvel itself will still be around, but it's going to be not that powerhouse drawing in-house Marvel comics that you know and love. It's going to be sent to some outsourcing to whatever's left of the comic book industry, like IDW. And I think IDW is just trying to hold on just because they're bleeding a lot of money and $30 million in the hole and stuff, and they're just waiting they're just holding out just enough time, long enough until that whole entire thing where they just license it out. They'll of course bleed out more. They'll probably take out some more money to, of course, pay the licensing fees, or did they? They probably already did with those Spider-Man comics. They're just trying to get the green light so they can start making Spider-Man comics. I mean, and more Marvel character comics, and this is where you're going to see the comic book industry like that is going to definitely collapse. And I was thinking to myself, don't these SJWs even want to save their jobs? And the truth is, they don't give a shit. I mean, they did these, I'm sorry, pardon my French, but they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about nothing. All they care about, they're just a giant, I mean, they're just a giant, whiny, bratty preteen or a 5-year-old who just learned the F-bomb and are just doing it left and right on Twitter, being fake outraged about everything. They don't care. They don't care about any of this stuff. And they probably will 9 times out of 10 just get redistributed to probably might want to do TV with Fox and with other things like that, since they already are technically under Disney's payroll or whatever, freelancing with that. I mean, honestly, though, I don't think they will. I think they're just going to be baristas and stuff. I don't really think they're even going to, which more reasons why not to go to Starbucks, but that's neither here nor there. And now I'm thinking about this. They're going to be killing, the comic book sales are just down the toilet, and Disney is going to be cutting costs like they always do, and that's with any merger, just like the Starbucks and Teavana when they merged with, then they bought them out. They're going to keep their stuff for a little while, which this little grace period we've had with this SJW time since the buyout is going to lead to them scaling them down and just making the Marvel more or less a licensing and maybe overseeing as editorials. They might have editorials and staff to license it because it's going to make sense because they're going to move them from the New York office to Burbank. I mean, they're going to. The only reason that they're in New York still because they still had the lease before the buyout and stuff, and Marvel's lease is up. So when you watch these videos, and I'll probably make a video about this too, Marvel will probably move to Burbank, and there'll probably be a licensing thing. I would not be surprised. So that means a lot of layoffs. I mean, a lot of these SJWs will probably get laid off, which, that's where these that's actually modest. I think they should just go into what Ethan says, go into the damn trebuchet and get flung into the ocean. I had actually a whole idea about that too. And that would be involving spatial launched crawler transports and trebuchet just to pad 39B at the Kennedy Space Center, just fling them somewhere. But I'm getting off topic again. But yeah, it's just so weird. It's so weird, this stuff. And it doesn't surprise me. As soon as that happens, you're going to see a cataclysm of epic proportions that will crush and will destroy what local small LCSs we have across the country. And the reason I got behind this whole thing with Comicsgate and stuff was I wanted this. I was hoping that our voice would just, would spout to them, hey, this is not what the fans want. This is what, this is not what these SJWs and NPCs want. This is what the fans want. We want good comics. We want the comics that you had from 2010 and in the night. Bring back the quality of the good comics we had back in 2010, like the stuff I had back in high school, and keep doing with that. Don't stop avenuing down this road of stupidity. And it really does bother me that these people do not care. And these last almost 2 years now, since we've had like people like from Captain Cummings all the way to world class bullshitters and stuff, just going, because that's how I know them. I first watched Captain Cummings, and then it sent related videos to Ethan Van Sciver, Diversity in Comics, and Fake Geeks and Gamers, and it was a whole chain of events that got me interested in this stuff, because I want to I got into this stuff because I wanted the hope that maybe our voice could save a really important piece of American history, of Americana, because comics are an American thing, really. You could say, oh, they started in Europe in this section, such a year, in this date, in this weather. No. Yes, it could have, but it was really America made the modern day comics, while Europe has, paintings, they have basilicas, they have cathedrals, they have all that, they have Charles Dickens, they got Lord of the Rings, they got all these great literature and stuff, but us, generally, we have comics. Comics are really just like how television is pretty much American history. And I'm at this point now where we were just talking to a wall the entire last 2 years. The last 2 years of Comicsgate, I feel like we've just been talking to a wall. And I think now Ethan and even Zach in some cases, we just have a point now where we can't save the LCSs anymore. There's just no point in saving them anymore. And this is probably part of the video I'll explain like why has Cameron been looking at The Terror since, you've been looking at it. First off, good show. Really good show watching this, especially nowadays where television and entertainment is generally crap now, and generally a very good show. But in The Terror, you have a person like Francis Crozier who warned about the ice packs that was on there, because if you don't understand, this is based off the 1845 Franklin expedition where the HMS Terror and HMS Erebus, they went to Canada, up in northern Canada, to find a way to the passage called the Northwest Passage, a shortcut to get to China. And it's based off of the book The Terror from I think it's Dan Simmons, I believe, Dave Simmons. If you're ever at a bookstore, read it. It's actually a very good book. The book, the show deviates from it, but the point I'm making with this is Crozier, who is an Irishman who did have more polar experience and Arctic experience than John Franklin or James Fitzjames, he knew what was going on. He knew that this was a bad situation when they got stuck in the ice. And he said to them in the show, of course, it's played by Gerard Harris, and he was saying, this place wants us dead. And that, we should be trying to steer away from this and try to find safe harbor. This is in the first episode, I believe. And he says that, we need to get the safe harbor, and you see people like Fitzjames and people like Franklin are just ignoring him and saying that, you just because you're an Irish. I think it was generally, because you're Irish and stuff, and I don't, he's like, I don't really take your recommendations seriously and stuff like that. And, well, there was more personal things with Crozier and Franklin because of, he wanted to marry Franklin's niece, but you can go look that up in the video and stuff. But it's one of these things where he warned the hell out of them, and even after they didn't listen, he still was benevolent in ignoring him and telling him, even after they got stuck in the ice, even like by the third episode, Crozier told Franklin, we need to start sending search teams and start getting inland and stuff. And Franklin, of course, still said, I won't allow it. He still would not do this and won't do that. And what happened? The guy gets his ass torn out, got his leg ripped off, and got shoved down an ice hole and stuff by a demon polar bear. And that demon polar bear is going to be the market and the industry collapsing in on itself. And, of course, Marvel is Sir John Franklin, and that is where Marvel is going to go. Marvel's going down that ice hole, and it's because especially the stakes have now doubled significantly with the Fox Disney merger finally went through, which, and by all means, it should never have happened. The Federal Trade Commission should say no, but the Federal Trade Commission is a joke at this point. And he gets attacked. Spoiler. I mean, actually, it's not a spoiler. If you've watched a show, actually, just get the Blu-ray and just watch this. This is a really good show. But he got Franklin ignored all what pretty much Crozier warned about, and he went out to go help with guys, with the other Marines and stuff, and hunt the polar bear that was that was out there, and they thought it was just a little polar bear. It's all a bear out there, and they were thinking, "Oh, this ain't gonna be different. And this is some giant demon polar bear just pulling him and tearing him apart." And just if you would heed Crozier's warnings, 9 times out of 10, you guys would not be involved with this. And I feel the same way. Zach and Ethan and Yellow Flash, we are Crozier, and Marvel is pretty much Sir John Franklin, and John Franklin got his leg severed and got tossed down into an ice hole. Now, whether that actually happened, that didn't actually happen in the real events and stuff, but this is not good. And this is just in general, even retail stores in general are going through the same process of dealing with losing out on the direct market. The direct market, people just want to go online to buy stuff. Even I've gotten to a point where I just rather just buy stuff online. I mean, and I've been a big advocate for brick and mortar stores, but I've even had my breaking point where traffic is just so bad, and why would I drive all the way out to Annapolis, that's where my comic book shop I go to big comic book shop, Third Eye. I highly recommend it. Third Eye. Why would I drive out there and just deal with these people? I don't. I really don't. And I'm like, if I'm going to be getting piss poor product and stuff at a comic book shop, then again, I could just be at home on my app on my phone here and go to Indiegogo and just order Cyberfrog, which I recommend. Get Cyberfrog, get Lady Alchemy, get Brand, get all the Comicsgate comic books, and even go on like IndieCron and look this stuff up, because that is where comics are going towards. And comics are going to go towards the independent market. My original plan was I was hoping maybe these comics that these Comicsgate creators were making would be like just setting an example to the rest of the fandom and stuff, to Marvel and stuff. But like I said, we were just talking to a brick wall for 2 years. And Comicsgate was talking to a brick wall, and that's probably what I'm going to make the title of the video was. We've been talking to a brick wall for 2 years, and they don't care. All that brick wall, all it ever did was just spit back at us and just calling us names and just calling us every ism and phobe in the book. And you know what? If you want to kill yourselves and just commit seppuku of your own comic book, of your own company and the place you work at, by all means. You probably could make more at a Walmart, or probably make more at Costco. Because that's where you're going. You're going towards Costco, Marvel. I mean, you guys, all you SJWs who working in there, you better start pulling up ads in the local Costco. Look up online and go pull up apply for Costco or a barista at Starbucks. That's all you're ever going to go to, because you're not going to get far with those identity politics of yours that you really care about. I mean, identity politics is killing media. And as always, that's kind of it. I mean, I make random videos. I might make another one. Actually, I might want to review Jawbreakers, and if you see it on here, I will make a recommendation. You'll see me pop it up. But yeah, pretty much the comic industry is going down the same path as John Franklin in The Terror and the Franklin Expedition. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to the channel if you want to, or just type up in the comments you have questions, comments, concerns, or just want to say, go Billy! Alright, thanks. Bye.